Hello and welcome to Simuldub Saints, your guide to seasonal anime dubs. I'm your host, Laserkid, and with me as always is my trusty co-host.
Hello, I am Archangel, lover of cat girls.
And we have a special guest today.
Hi, it's Happy Kuro Kitty, a lover of cats.
Hooray! Been a hot minute since we had you. Glad to have you back.
I'm glad that I'm actually keeping up with something for once at a timely rate that's recent.
It's pretty awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
But I wouldn't be able to do it if it weren't for you, so, you're partially to blame or to thank for that, whichever you choose.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, you've all been listening to our theme song, Wherever I Go, from front of the podcast Ampren. To check out their awesome music, link in the description.
And in this episode, we are shouting out That Chernobyl Guy. More about him at the end.
An explosive channel?
No, except for
I'm making a dumb joke.
Yeah, except for that one time, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, you poison Europe with radioactivity one time, and they never let you hear the end of it.
But before we get to the news, Kuro, it's been a hot minute since we had you. I actually looked. It was episode 50. It's been a minute. Anything you want any of our listeners to know about you? Introduce. You've been with us before, but it's just been a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fantasy lover. That tends to be my genre, but I'll definitely get into shonen and action. But lately, I've been into more cerebral, plot-driven stuff. With one major exception, I guess I should say, I've been super into Dungeon Crawler Carl books, and I highly recommend them to any listeners who haven't. It's one of those things where people say it, and you're like, oh, why is everyone recommending this? It's so annoying. But it actually is totally a thing you want to get into because you want to have someone to talk about it with. So if you haven't checked it out, they're on Kindle Unlimited, or if you're an audiobook person, you can do that. But it's scratching.
My brother-in-law was talking to me about that, and I still
it scratches a couple itches because there's a lot of character depth, there's a lot of emotional range. You laugh, you cry, there's some action, there's plot. And it gets that D&D/JRPG itch too, if that's your thing. It really is
itch.
Yeah, it is a niche thing, but it's a niche that a lot of people would fall into, I think. So yeah, so that's what I'm feeling. That's my vibe these days for sure.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
With that down, we have a small amount of news because it's been a minute since we recorded. Sorry about our downtime, everybody. I got stuck at home at my folks' place.
And I just didn't have the energy to do editing because it's very busy at work. So
yeah, I mean,
it's really my fault.
No, it's not your fault entirely. It's not your fault. I was out of place for 3-4 weeks. But we have in the news, immediately relevant to our last episode, which was recorded in April, Hell Mode Season 2 anime reveals July 3rd premiere, opening theme song in new trailer. And I also know that they're premiering the dub for it at Anime Expo. So hopefully we'll get that dub for Season 2 fast. I really liked Hell Mode. Black Torch anime previews theme song in its new trailer. That's one I actually read the manga for, and I'm really excited. Speaking of being really excited, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 3's anime previews ending theme song in new trailer. We're getting a theme here, but Rudy's adventure continues July 5th. I am here for Mushoku Tensei. Oh my gosh. I can laugh in light novel reader now. But Art can laugh in the light novel reader for this next one. Apothecary Diaries Season 3, Gachiakuta Season 2, and more anime to stream on Crunchyroll.
So actually, the anime's past where I've read to, so I need to catch up.
Catch up, but
I need to catch up too.
Honestly, at this point, if they keep producing it at this rate, I'm just gonna wait for the anime.
The anime is fantastic.
Not that the novels are bad, but the anime has so much more life breathed into it. The books are a little bit clinical. which
Yep.
is not a bad thing. It's just different.
Mm-hmm.
It was heavily recommended to me by Laser, and I started it and I liked it, and once again, not able to complete.
Yep.
For no reason. I have no excuses.
It's all right. It's very good. But yeah, season 3 for that is in October. But also in that news roundup, in that because it's like it talks about a whole bunch of shows. I spied something exciting, Ark. The Bird is back. Sasuke and Peace season 2 is coming this year.
Wonderful. Yeah, apparently it is a light novel, which I probably should read now. Anyone who didn't watch season 1, or actually even people who did watch season 1 like me, if you have time, I'm going to try find some time closer to its coming out to rewatch season 1, because this show has so many fucking plot threads.
It really does. This is the absolute master of juggling plot threads. This is how you do
It's
it.
like it's going for the It's like it's going for a record. I swear to God, but it does it very well.
Yep.
Sasuke and Peeps.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So
highly recommend.
The basic idea: guy gets isekai. Oh, actually, not even right away. He doesn't actually. Never mind. I'm wrong. Isekai is not what happens here.
Guy finds Burb.
Guy finds Bird. Bird has the soul of a legendary sorcerer from another world in it, and they become friends. Bird teaches him magic. This catches the attention of local authorities in the supernatural. He gets caught up in
because
that.
there is magic in Earth, but it's quite different and limited.
Yes. And then he eventually goes to the fantasy world and gets caught up over there in the politics and machinations over there. And he
starts
goes back
trading
and forth.
and starts doing business back and forth across both.
And
there's politics on both sides. There's friends and family on both sides. It's a hot mess, and it's amazing.
Oh yes, there's multiple plot threads on both sides, and at least one thread that connects between.
Yep, there's, someone who needs someplace safe, and where's safer than a whole fucking other world?
That's more than I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who goes where or why, but
I wouldn't mind getting isekai to another world some days.
Right. But speaking of getting isekai to another world.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Or you could have the fate of Skeleton Knight in Another World, which is coming back for season 2 on July 4th. Yeah, you get isekai, you're a skeleton warrior, but he's on the side of good and justice.
Okay.
Very good show, Arc. I'm gonna have to catch all of you up on Skeleton Knight before that because I'm absolutely watching that. There were other news stories. There's a lot of them. This was me actually limiting myself. There's a lot of news coming out on the lead up to Anime Expo. So, yeah, good stuff all around.
That's coming right up.
It is.
Away.
I learned a couple of years ago that I can't physically handle it, so I'm not going to go again, at least until I get my body back together a little bit better. But it is definitely an adventure.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things to do.
Oh, yeah.
Something for everybody.
So, we're here today to talk about Daemons of the Shadow Realm. From the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, which is what I'm pretty much sure that's what caught all of our attention.
The animation style felt really familiar, and I don't know, the title was what hooked me initially. I guess it seemed to like scratch that fantasy itch I was looking at, and I was like, okay, what is
the title
this?
seemed kind of generic actually, but
really
it fits. It fits. It just doesn't tell you anything.
It doesn't tell you anything, and for the record, neither does the first episode.
No, the first episode. I still have questions.
But it hooks you.
It does.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't answer any questions.
That's going to be the first thing I have to say about Daemons of the Shadow Realm. If you have not watched it yet,
you have to watch at least 3. You have to watch at least 3 episodes.
I would say 1, but if you're not hooked by episode 1, I don't know what's going to happen.
What I told a different friend the other night, if watch episode 1, and if that doesn't hook you, this show is not for you.
But also, if you haven't seen it yet, do not listen to us talk about it for the love of all things good and holy. This is one of those shows it will be impossible for us to not spoil episode 1 for you. And you do not want to have that happen.
Yeah,
you
you kind of
have-
need to experience it as the story plays out. And I should also say, I think it's important to mention, it is not like an action-based show. It's
No,
very much plot heavy in
it
a good way.
has
In a
moments of
very good
action.
way. It
It
does
has
have
its
moments of action,
but
but
it's
it's
not. You're right. It's very narrative driven.
in the best way.
Oh,
In the best way.
absolutely.
I am, you
Right.
know, a big fan of
And
that.
the writing is very interesting, as we'll get into.
Absolutely. So that is the first thing I want you to do if you've not seen it and you don't know anything and you have any interest in this. I know some people listen to this podcast with, "Oh, I might watch that someday," but you're not dying
all
for
right,
it.
yeah. So, okay, if you have not watched it yet, when I say break, you're going to pause the podcast. You're going to go watch episode 1, and then if you decide it's not for you and you want to listen to us talk about it anyway, come back. Otherwise, watch what's been dubbed up to this point and then come back. Okay?
Yeah, we are through episode 8.
Yeah. So break.
Hmm.
All
All
right.
right.
Welcome back.
That's out of the way. Welcome back. So, yeah, what's really interesting about this show is that we've got a mix of factions. And I'm not sure who's the good guy and who's the bad guy yet. I have
We hardly know anyone's agenda yet.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's
You're
the
right.
point. We don't I feel like there's so much unknown. You don't know what people's agenda are, and you're figuring it out along with the first character you get is kind of your main character.
Yeah, Yuru, yeah. So
Yuru.
Yuru is a part of a pair of twins, Yuru and his twin sister Asa. They are born as a legendary pair that split the night. Something about the time or the signs
Basically,
when they were born.
one of them was born before midnight, and the other after midnight.
Yeah. So, and
I
for
believe that's how
whatever
that
reason,
works.
yes, but there's also something about the time or the signs or something about
Yeah, the
why that
Yeah, it
equinox.
was on a certain date or something. Whatever.
The
Anyway, the
equinox.
point
I'm
is,
Being
not sure.
born on
very
either
unusual
side of the
set of
equinox
circumstances.
in this particular village grants them certain abilities.
Yep, and that's in Higashi Village. And our main character here is Yuru, who is the night half, voiced by Ben Jorg Stegmeyer. That's Oliver Cardiff in Jack of All Trades, Party of None, and Iharu Furuhashi in Kaiju number 8.
Yep. And I just want to say, I just noticed this when we were talking about Full Metal Alchemist. I had his picture in front of me. I realized this guy could be the third Elric brother.
Oh my god, he could.
I just realized.
Oh, there's gonna be one of them looks like Rose. One of them looks like
Well, it's
Colonel
that smile and the
Mustang.
blonde hair.
Oh yeah, like there's a look.
There's a
to the
stylistic,
stuff.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this
Just the
is
way
like
he
when you
holds
notice
himself.
Dragon Ball characters in Dragon Quest. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But Yuru is a hunter in his village, where his sister is imprisoned because the whole night and day thing.
Yeah,
And-
it's fairly civilized, but she's in this relatively large confined area that she cannot leave.
And he makes sure to spend time with her. They're close.
Yeah.
Her name is Asa. She is Day, voiced by Molly Zhang. That's Gyokyo in Apothecary Diaries, and Princess Tala Mort Anzetta in Clevitas, which I go back and forth whether or not I want you to see it, Crow, because I think you'd like it, but it might push your buttons a little bit.
I hear you.
It's intense.
It is intense, but it is so good.
Yeah. It's quick. It's pretty quick on paying off what it builds up.
I do like a quick
in
payoff.
terms of people getting their comeuppance. So, yeah, we should mention a little bit about Higashi Village physically. It is literally on the top of a mountain, like one of those big Japanese mountains with, terraced paddy fields and stuff. And it just, they don't really get, there's one or two people who come from outside to trade, but they're pretty cut off from the world.
They're very
do.
feudal Japan in look and style.
Yes, and
Yeah.
one of the first things like in the first episode is you'll see, like you, the viewer, sees a plane flying overhead,
Yeah,
and Yuro
contrails.
says, "Oh, another dragon."
Dragon
So,
tracks. Yeah, it's these
yeah,
contrails. They call them dragon tracks. Yeah.
he's very clearly not savvy. You know, you pick up right away
Okay.
that there's a world outside the village, but you know that
Yeah.
the villagers are not savvy to this,
Yep,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
which is a major plot point.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
no, this is part of what makes this work so well.
Yeah.
We got a clash of civilizations almost. Um, you mentioned outsiders. Well, one of those outsiders is that comes in. He's part of the village, but he goes in and out. Is Ryu Dara Tadara? Dara is his nickname. Voiced by Jared Green. That's Hitoshi Shinso in My Hero Academia. That's Mr. Voice Mimic guy, and Mikhail Renfred in The Ancient Magus Bride. Dara is just kind of like this friendly guy. He's really friendly to Yuru, helping him out with various
Think of
things.
the old-fashioned trader who makes his living going between rural villages with just relatively portable stuff you can pack on your back. That's at least how the village seems to regard him. And so it's just a pretty ordinary day, except
Well, things kind
they
of
start
blow up.
hearing it. Well, they start hearing this weird noise they've never heard before, which to me, I say not just helicopter, but UH-60 Blackhawk. And sure enough, all of a sudden, this peaceful medieval Japanese mountain village gets Zero Dark 30'd
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
by anonymous modern commandos
Yeah,
who
it's
start
violent.
just murdering all the adults.
It's upsetting.
It's very upsetting, especially
Yeah.
to me at the time, because we didn't know anything. We still don't know much. The military fatigues looked very American, and I'm like, what is happening?
The whole world wears multicam, dude.
Well,
That's why we stopped using it and went to Digicam, because literally when you have Osama bin Laden wearing multicam, because it's just cheap and available and it works.
fair enough, but in my mind, the way it's in pop culture looks like, at least.
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, most of the world is standardized these days.
But
I do see your
again,
point.
culturally speaking, that rings us.
Yeah, it's definitely Western style uniforms at Web Gear, definitely.
And I'm sitting here going, what the hell happened? That was my initial read of why is America invading random Japanese the town?
Yeah, definitely it's marks.
Oh yeah,
high
that's not
funded
what it
marks.
was, but that was my
Right.
when I knew even less, that was my initial read. But you're right, it is
There are a lot of
definitely
hallmarks that would have been the American military, like flag patches and shit, but no. But I see why you made that mistaken identification. In any case, they just start trying to kill everybody. And
the only thing
being
that
a
they seem to
hunter, turns the tables on them.
Indeed, he does. He even comes across a particular lady named Gabby.
This is where things start to get really weird.
Yeah, and confusing.
Absolutely. But Gabby's voiced by Michaela Kranz. That's young Senku Ishigami and Dr. Stone. And Angela Rose in the beginning after the end. That's one of the party members from Arthur's family. But yeah, she has a daemon that chops people's heads off. Little monster
and
creature.
it seems to take far too much enjoyment out of killing people.
She absolutely, yeah, no.
To the point where even, spoiler alert, after we learn more about her, I still regard her as a prime candidate to be put down, because there's something wrong with her.
You have mixed feelings about her.
And
Yeah,
this is me, Mr. Murder, saying this girl needs to be put down.
I'm aware. That's why I'm like, but even I've got mixed feelings on it. Like,
yeah, I have mixed feelings too.
but
what your first impression of her is murdering what seems to be innocent
Innocent
villagers. As far as we know
Is a
today,
complete
they were
psychosis is her initial
yeah,
impression.
and
Oh yeah.
you don't see the Daemons, so you just see them being sort of slashed by what do they do? This
Chop.
polychromatic. Yeah, but you just see like this
Yeah.
polychromatic sparkle, and then later you see the Daemon, and that's how you learn like they're not visible to most people. Once like you, the viewer, sees them, obviously you're gonna see them when the show wants you to see them. But
Right.
for all intents and purposes, these villagers have no idea what's happening to them until they're dead. So
Yeah. And even if they could see it, they couldn't defend themselves.
exactly, yeah, and
Now
it's
this thing
brutal.
flies around and just, eats people's heads. This thing being a Damon Gabriel, voiced by Amanda Gale. That's Diana Barry and Anne Shirley and Rose and Magic Maker. Which neither of those. It's a Damon. Whenever I'm talking about the Damons, most of them don't speak, except for the main two, which we'll get to in a minute. Some of them do, but a lot of them just make noises.
Yep.
But yeah, Yuru fights. He manages to get Gabby real good,
Nearly kills her.
and that's when the real moment of what happens, and that's when a much taller, older looking Asa shows up.
What?
Two
on Gabby's
Asas,
side.
what?
Two
Yeah,
Asas.
she looks so different that Yuru wouldn't have even pegged her as being Asa if she didn't identify herself as such.
Yeah,
And
and
he
then he has
doesn't
to have it
believe her, and
confirmed by
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
somebody
almost
honest,
like
I
almost
didn't
like a
believe her at first either.
yeah, she honestly reminds me of Big Boss from Metal Gear. She's got that, at least when she's got her war face on. She's got that hard ass attitude. She's missing an eye.
You mean Boss? Big Boss is a dude.
I meant what I said. With the eye patch and stuff. Obviously.
Oh,
being a
I
lady,
see what
but-
you're. Now I see your comparison. Okay,
Yeah, particularly that picture that we're using. She reminds me of Big Boss.
I could see it.
Of course, she's not always in hard ass mode, but still.
In fact, actually, more often than not, she's the exact opposite. She's
Right.
very run by her emotional whims.
Yeah.
But
I would make a joke about men versus women, but honestly, people are just people.
Yeah, Yuru manages to basically get through that, and with Dara's help, actually, he manages to get away and meets Dara, who's with one of the village elders, Yamaha, voiced by Wendy Powell. That's Envy of Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And Kamataro Tsuruyama, that's the bad director in Zenju. Gosh, what a voice actress, by the way.
Yeah, and referred to generally as grandmother.
Grandma or granny,
by pretty much everyone in the village.
I actually thought she was Yuru and Asa's grandmother until
we had no
looked
reason to
into it.
realize otherwise, but yeah.
But she has Dara help Yuru find.
And what's interesting is not only does Dara have the skills to take down some of the mercs, but he knows how to use their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yuru has no idea what he's looking at, so he doesn't even bother. He's just using a bow and arrow.
No,
and kicking ass with it.
Gun, and
do not mess
he
with
knows
Yuru.
exactly what's happening. Like he's like, he's able to articulate exactly what's happening.
Dara's seemed very keen with modern technology and things. Yuru, though, is dangerous enough on his own right. But he's about to get even more dangerous.
A real bow and arrow are incredibly dangerous, arguably in some cases more so than a firearm. So just in real life, don't underestimate the danger. It is very much a weapon. Be careful when you go to do archery.
But
it's just like going target shooting.
This is where Dara gets Yuru to a point where he has Yuru uses blood to open a seal, which unlocks the Daemons of the town, the guardians of the town, left and right.
Great characters, great designs.
Oh my gosh, I love them. Left is
Muscle
voiced by
Mommy and Muscle Daddy.
Yeah.
Muscle Mommy in this case would be Left, voiced by the legendary Colleen Clinkenbeard. That's Monkey D. Luffy in One Piece, creating / Momo Yaoyorozu in My Hero Academia, Yuriko Okada in Tojo Wants to Be a Kamen Rider, and that list goes on and on and on and on. I could spend all day on it. I love hearing Colleen Clinkenbeard in my dubs. And then
Yeah.
Wright is voiced by Bill Butts. That's Karstedt in A Sentence of a Bookworm, all of them. And then Masculine in Bleach House near Blood War. Mr. Russell dude in that.
Yep. So Left is calmer, more reserved. Right is very, very macho,
Aggressive.
very impulsive. Yes, very aggressive.
Yeah,
They make a good pair,
they do.
and they can talk.
Yes. And they also are not savvy to the world outside the village.
No.
They've been up on the mountain for how long?
400 years.
400
years.
Okay. But they have been watching. And
Yes,
because
they were
of
the
that,
Guardians.
they are able to actually confirm to Yuru that quote-unquote fake Asa is not fake. That is
Yeah.
Asa.
That's
That's
your
what
blood
I
sister.
believed it. That's
Yeah,
what I
same.
believed it.
Same when they were like, "This is your blood sister." I was like, "Okay, I don't think they'd lie to him." They
No,
call
I
him
don't.
their master,
Yeah,
and
I
he's
don't think they're
like,
lying.
"I'm going to be a laid back master." It's a little bit like a genie situation, you know. And
Yeah.
he doesn't tell them what
He
to
actually
do.
rejects the idea of being their master. He's like, if you want to come along, sure, but I'm not going
Yeah.
to give you orders ever.
Yeah, he asks them to do things. He doesn't tell them, which
Yep,
is a
it's
really
very interesting.
it's pretty great actually.
I
It
actually
creates a
really love
different
that.
relationship dynamic than what you see between others and their daemons.
They're
I also
almost
think it's
they're more
go
like
on.
comrades and servants, and I love it.
Yeah.
Right. It turns out Daemons, it's very much like what you see in Pokemon, where smart people will regard them as friends and family,
And
whereas
companions,
stupid
yeah.
people will use them like tools.
Like tools. Exactly.
Oh yeah,
I
and
think
we see
Pokemon's a
that.
perfect example. And also
Agreed.
also they come in pairs. So everyone who has
Oh, right, yeah.
access to Daemon, there's a pair of them, which is
Yep.
kind of critical to how
Yeah,
all
it's
of this.
really interesting design. So
Yeah.
Gabriel, for example, the Chompy, Gabby's Chompy, but that's the two halves of the mouth, the top and the bottom are they're referred to collectively as Gabriel, but they're two different.
Yeah, that took me a minute.
They're a pair.
That took me
Yeah.
forever, actually.
I didn't realize until they actually said, because at first they look like a singular entity because they're
They
symmetrical.
do, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't even realize that they were two separate until you just told me. So that shows you how well I notice things. But I believe you.
It also it turns out as you meet them more, it turns out Gabriel is actually very affectionate.
That I know, I did notice. So that brings us to leaving the village and meeting up with another member of the village who's on the outside. Hannah Dano, voiced by Meggie Elise. That's a newcomer, but she has a couple of video game roles. In the game Chernobyl, she's Fuchsia, and in the video game Honor of Kings, she's Diadia.
Diadia, I would how I would pronounce that. But
I'll take your
I
word for
haven't
it.
played either one.
Nor have I, but she is those there, and this character is totally not Rose from Fullmetal. What are you talking about?
He's very shouty.
She's very shouty.
Yeah, so she and Dara are work partners. Their job is to it's very much a subordinate family thing, very, very Japanese, where their family or families are hereditarily act as the outside liaisons to the village. And so I don't know what they actually think of each other, but Hannah in particular, I don't think Hannah terribly cares for Dara. Dara seems to like Hannah, or at least likes teasing her. And so basically it's now their job to have this essentially not feral but wild child and teach him how to survive in modern Japan.
Hilarity ensues. What's this? It's
Yeah,
a
what's
car. How does it work?
Yeah. Oh god, and it frustrates me because I see why normal people would not do, but I'm thinking as tag me in, coach, because as an extremely autistic person, I would sit with them for hours and just explain shit
I
in
like his
simple terms.
set of head instructions when he goes to use a public restroom for the first time. He like
Hmm.
goes through a checklist, like, okay, these are all the things I have to do to use the latrine. It's really
Yeah.
funny. Right at the beginning, episode 3, he's like, okay, I need to remember to do this, to do that, to do that.
Yeah. And they even make a callback of shut off the lights, and later, in a combat situation, he's like, shut off the lights. He breaks all the light bulbs to put an area into darkness. You know,
Oh gosh, it's great. My personal favorite is the cell phone. It's like having smoke signals. So he refers to cell phones. That thing with the smoke signals. Yeah, sure, Euro.
yes.
That's what it is. I love
Oh
him.
god.
He's a
Yeah.
great protagonist. But Asa has to report the failure to her basic direct report. A member of the Kagamori clan, Jin Kagamori, voiced by the legendary Jerry Jewell, who I'm very happy to talk about briefly. That's Hyoga and Dr. Stone, Principal Nezu in My Hero Academia, Caesar Clown in One Piece, and the goddamn Happiness Bunny in Shin-chan. I had to put that in there because I knew you'd laugh, Mark. Jerry Jewell's actually legit one of my favorite voice actors. I'm always happy to hear him, but he's pretty good as Jin Kagamori here. This guy is totally not Ray Mustang, by the way. He's very no nonsense by the books, but he also clearly has some kind of a care. He uses his Daemons, I and Makoto, who are both voiced by Abigail Blythe. That's Kikoro Shinomiya in Kaiju number 8, and Neffy in Orange Demon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride. And basically, I picks up everything that it eats, and Makoto will spit it back out. It's basically, he's got a permanent bag of holding between the two
Yeah.
Daemons.
He's backpack boy. So
Oh my god, no one but me is gonna get that.
yeah.
He calls them janitor demons.
Yeah. Yeah. So for example, later when something breaks out and Yuru's like, shit, does anyone have a bow? And he's like, I've got several. I'm not sure they'll be of any use. They're mostly toys. But
Yeah.
they just dump out everything they've got. And Yuru's like, okay, let's try this.
So the Kagamori clan is definitely there's beef between the Higashi village and the Kagamori clan, and we'll get into more of that as we go. But these are kind of our two major factions.
Yeah, this is all very traditional Japanese culture in the way that people work and stuff.
True, but I find them to be almost analogous to like, and here you're gonna have to hear me out on this. They remind me of political parties
Mm.
in
the-
several ways.
Sort of, I would say like great houses from like the what do you call it,
I
from
understand what you're
Japanese
getting.
history,
More literally,
which
yes.
did operate like modern political parties in that
The
sense. Yes,
Iga and the
The
Koga.
reason I'm comparing them to
it would be
political
good
parties,
examples. Yes,
they
Yeah.
have strong ideological differences that they get really heated
Son
about,
Goku.
and yet at the same time, neither side's a monolith. And most importantly to me, and the reason I bring this up, although I'm kind of leaning in one direction, and I have to stress kind of, because like honestly, I don't know. I don't know about either one. They both have good points and bad points. They're
That
from,
seems to
from
be
what
plot
little we know.
intentional.
Yeah,
yes.
from what little we know, I don't trust either of these.
Oh, I don't either.
At
Which
least their leadership.
which makes it even more like political parties.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one
Oh my
critical
gosh.
thing that you pick up pretty early is that these equinox twins are super powerful, and people
They're
are
supposed to
vying
be,
for
yeah.
control over
Right.
them. And that
'Cause,
looks like
yeah.
different things. That presents
Yeah,
itself in
they're
different ways.
supposed to take command of a pair of super powerful demons, one each, which is unusual, Break and Seal. And
then a third person is supposed to have left and right to keep them in check.
right, but
yes.
but
But it didn't work out that way.
because people insist on fucking around, we can't have nice things, and so basically, completely by accident, Yuru is now extremely armed and very dangerous and very distrustful of everybody, to his credit.
Yes.
Well, and he
And
has
we'll
good
see what
reason to
happens.
be, because we've learned
Yeah.
since Asa was killed at one point, and she came back.
That's
but
how she came into Break, yes.
She came into the power of Break, which Break apparently is its own daemon. I'm only mentioning that she is voiced by Mallory Rodak because Mallory Rodak is Freeran. Also great sage, and that time I got Reincarnation Slime. But Break is also kind of mildly funny to me, just the way she's just kind of casual about, if you want to do this, you can do that. If you don't, you don't have to. Whatever. Very flight. Yeah, this was very relaxed and just blasé about the whole thing. So that's that. But that kind of leads into this whole Kagomori clan. They have their differences. Yuru decides he's going to go find his sister. He's going to go find Asa and talk to her. Find out
he wants
what's
answers
going on.
because the only thing he knows at the point where he's left the village and he learns about the real Asa, all he knows is the Asa that was in his village is a fake Asa who was there who was put in place to keep him in the village. A. B. His parents fled in the middle of the night with his sister without him when he was a child. And
he actually doesn't know any of that yet.
He knows they left.
This is what all comes out in fits and starts and broken pieces over the course of like the first half of the season.
Because Lefton, before he goes to find his sister, he asks left and right what they know, and they've been monitoring the.
That's true. They did tell him that. You're right.
And they say all we know is we saw you for years. We just saw you with your parents. We never saw your sister, and then one day we saw them leave with your sister, and then it was just you. And he's like, he needs to know. He wants to know why, and because he's without technology. This is kind of the funny part. He has no way of tracking her down. He just asks left and right. All right, can you help me track down where there are Daemons? Like, can we find them that way? And he ends up being being yeeted to Tokyo without like poor Dara's guardian keeping track of him. So that's how he ends up with the Kagomori
We should also
clan.
mention that much to Hana's annoyance, Dara and Hana are pretending to, as a current cover, they're pretending to be a married couple with Yuru as their son.
Yeah.
But they're still not having much
practical challenges. Like, he doesn't have health care, he doesn't have any license. Like, how are we going to navigate this? And it's funny that they bring it up too,
which is great.
It's really I don't know about Japan, but in America, all you do is you go to the local underworld, who they have to know. At least in America, if you with enough money, it is very easy to get a fake ID that's in the system.
Yeah, they need the hookup.
They do.
Yeah, so I would say just go to the local Yakuza. They'll either be able to do it themselves, or for a suitable fee, they will refer you to somebody.
Yeah.
But
that's kind of the business they're in.
Yuru's search does not get him to Asa. It gets him to Gene. I can talk. It gets him to Gene. And there's a conflict there initially. But after some aggressive negotiations...
Yeah, Yuru's not fucking around.
No, Yuru is not fucking around. Holy shit.
One of the most prized qualities for me in a protagonist is that they do not fuck around when things matter.
I agree. I like that he's not, even though he's somewhat vulnerable to this world of modern technology, he doesn't let it hold him back. His hunter instincts are so honed, he's able to hold his own against...
He's dangerous, man. I wouldn't want to go against him.
Yeah, which is good. He needs
his parents didn't raise no stupid children, because Asa, for all that she's kind of traumatized and codependent in various ways, which we'll get into, she's not stupid either.
No. Yes. Well, Gene manages to get Asa. The one thing I didn't like is that he gets Yuru to go to Asa at the Kagomori Manor I would have argued against that, but I think this worked out in the way it should have, and in the end.
What he should have done, but I don't think he realized, is at the end when they basically, and we learn why Gene's not budging on bringing Asa outside the manor. Yuru's not budging on going into enemy territory. What he should have done is told Gene, "Look, this is what I want. Go talk to your boss. Give me a phone number. I'll call you in 48 hours or something like that."
Yeah.
But again, I don't think he knows enough to be
No,
able
there's
to
no
come
way
up
he
with
would
an
But
know.
idea
Yuru,
like that.
he just
No.
wants answers, and he's like, the only person who can give them to me right now is Asa. So if you make this happen, and they're like, all right, what if we just bring you into our clan as a guest? We won't hurt you. We won't hold you captive. At first I had a lot of trepidation. I was like, oh, they're gonna try.
I
and
did
take
not
him. But that
trust
didn't
him.
happen.
No,
I still don't, but-
they kept their word, which surprised me.
Yes.
To set that up, he actually goes through the head of the clan, a elderly gentleman by the name of Gonzo Kagemori, voiced by the absolute mega legend that is Kent Williams. That's Mr. Compress in Hero Academia, Go Gunny in Soul Leveling, George Satome in Yu Yu Hakusho, and father of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that is barely scratching the surface. Oh god, I love having Kent Williams in a dub. And he's really good here. But Gonzo's this kind of like sweetheart grandfather, at least on the surface.
He's this quirky, easygoing, grandpa figure. I get the feeling that's partly the way he is, and partly very much an act.
I think it's who he wants to be. I don't think he's just acting, but there is clearly more to him than that.
I think so. From what we've seen of this man, I think this is one principled in one way or another, but this is one ruthless motherfucker.
Agreed.
Who will do
Absolutely
whatever
agreed.
he feels he needs to do for whatever he feels is right.
We get a thing from him later where he basically just straight up says, "Oh yeah, Higashvilles are backwards. They got what they deserved." I'm just like, "Whoa! Didn't expect that from you, but I guess I should have."
Yeah, no, he's going to be trouble one way or the other.
Oh, I agree.
Again, who's ultimately the right? I think that Yuru and Asa and some other people, who knows who, are going to wind up
And a third
picking
faction.
They're going to wind up smashing their own door number 3 and out of the wall.
Yeah.
But,
we're gonna Gundam seed this.
Yeah, that's my guess, but we'll see.
If I had to guess, we're gonna have Yuru, Asa, Dara, maybe Gene. That's hard. I have trouble reading him, and probably Gabby. I hate to say it, but I think Gabby's attached to Asa by the hip.
I think Gabby will go wherever Asa goes, grumbling all the while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene's the one that I have trouble reading.
Yeah, I think there might even be some romantic love there, but who can say?
But you want to know the member of the Kagemori clan that the only one here who I have villain flag written all over him, it's Asuma Kagemori. Voiced by Austin
100%. The first 2 episodes you see him in, he's got this creepy smile plastered on his face.
Well, and when they get there with Yuru, he's like, "Oh, Yuru's here. How do you know that?" I know because I know.
Yeah, I have my
bullshit, Asuma, you lying sack of crap.
He
also is the one who makes the very intense declaration that both Yuru and Asa need to be controlled. That was his stated stand.
He wants them to embrace their abilities. He's the only one that doesn't seem to be.
But under the control of those, under the control of those who know better.
Yeah,
it's a very Templar point of view.
I appreciate
from
that
Assassin's Creed.
Yes, I got the reference. I love that. I appreciate that he was very he put it out there right away. At least
he's honest.
Yeah,
you know what his bottom line is.
If he's not double dealing, then, which I think is likely, then he is.
Oh, I think it's very clear he's behind the attack on the manor.
If it's anyone we currently know about, then it's him. He greatly overestimates his own understanding and capabilities. That alone makes him dangerous.
But yeah, Asuma Kagemori is voiced by Austin Tyndall. That's the Phantom Thief Nato Monoma in My Hero Academia, and Haruka Sakura in Windbreaker, which that's range.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, this guy, I don't know.
He's sort of in the
Yeah.
same he's sort of the other side of the same coin of his father, Gonzo, because Gonzo also wants the Kagomori to control them, but to not have their powers activated, to have them be protected, whereas Asuma wants them in use by
So
those
my
wiser,
read on
aka himself.
Gonzo is that he hates Higashi Village, but he sees Yuro and Asa as people he needs to protect. It is during these meetings that we do actually learn that their parents are missing.
All
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
Very literally, they went on a flight, and they and their guardians, provided by the Kagomori clan, literally disappeared. Not seen when the plane landed. No one knows why. That's
And then
wild.
like before they can dig deeper into this, as they're having this very
This
important discussion, they get attacked.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
they all
They
get
get attacked
attacked.
inside this impregnable Kagomori manor.
Yeah, I guess
yes,
not
I wonder
no.
how that happened. Well, there's
I
quite a fight.
also yeah, I had questions about that too.
Yeah, just one last thing about before we move on. One last thing about Gonzo. I think he is whatever his agenda and beliefs are. I think he's a far more intelligent and reserved and careful operator than Asuma is. I think Asuma
100%.
lacks talent, it lacks tact, lacks discretion, and lacks the ability to appraise his own capabilities versus others.
I
I
want to
think
know
that
what
comes down to
Asuma's
your
In
demons
age.
other
are.
words, I think Gonzo is fundamentally competent, whether that's something grown over his long life or just he was. I think Asuma is fundamentally incompetent, and whether he is the bad actor or not, I think he's going to be a major cause of trouble.
Agreed.
I want to know what his demons are, Asuma's, because we
I
don't
would
know
like to
yet.
know that as
Also,
well.
yes.
But yeah, the Kagomori Manor comes under attack by unknown assailants. We know from the no one else knows good, but the audience knows that they're trying to capture the twins because they're in the same place at the same time. This is a third-party mercenary group, at least officially.
Yes.
Yeah, not even a mercenary group. They're just a bunch of rando contractors. Someone
Yeah.
went on
When I said let me
the darkness and
rephrase.
hired every demon user they could find.
When I said mercenary group, yeah, it makes it sound like it's a known group of mercenaries. No. A group that contains mercenaries is what I meant.
Yeah,
by that.
like the basically like the bounty
More of a
hunters of
gaggle, really.
the Daemon world.
Yeah, just people who can do Daemons. They literally, it's like Pokemon trainers, and when they've lost
And
a
this
Daemon, it's
is
like shit. I'm gonna have to find new ones.
One,
Yeah.
this is where your commentary on Damon users can play, because these guys are not even worth mentioning by name. In fact, most of them don't have any. But they are abusive as heck to their daemons, so much so that when Asa manages to overtake and control one of them, it's happy to help her out and find
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah,
It immediately switches
no loyalty.
loyalties and gives up its former
Well, because
its
Asa's
former
nice
owner.
to it.
It didn't
Yeah.
even get the guy didn't even give it a name.
Yeah.
Is the thing? It's like,
Yeah.
dude, people
What's
give fighting
interesting
dogs. People give fighting dogs names, for God's sake.
Like people who play Pokemon that don't put nicknames.
so that mercenaries daemon, they had a very yin and yang look to them, and when they attacked, they each ate um Asa and Yuru, and each of the twins got one of the pair of left and right. And during this point, that's where we get the reveal that left and right were initially there to keep in check the powers of break and seal, where right is there the right's there to keep break in check, which he knows, that Asa knows, because he's like, we came up against each other, and she's like, you neutralized my ability, and he's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. It's going to be weird to know how this plays out, which but he said that, this is just how it is, and then if Yuru ever gets seal, that's what left's job will be too, is to keep that in check. But they don't seem to say it in like a menacing way. This doesn't seem to be a problem.
No,
They're all very like like, I get the impression like left and right are not concerned like everyone else seems to be about these abilities. They're very much
no.
like, this is an unshaped dough, and we're not going to jump to any conclusions about how this is going to work out.
They are
you know?
much more shaken by modern technology than by the twins.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, keep in mind they've dealt with all this shit before. Nobody else
Exactly.
in the cast has, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
funny.
true.
So everyone's
No one
reacting
asked
to
them
things that are
either.
new to
Yeah.
them.
Yes. Yes. And they are saying, we've seen many iterations of that. Yeah, and some of them have been bad. But the ultimate point here is that, like any power, which that is not part of the conversation except for when it comes out of Yuru. With any power, it's really up to the individual on how they wield it and whether that person's going to be good or bad or whether it works. And I appreciated how, like, internally this dynamic is with Break and Seal. Like, they're not there as an aggressor to, I mean, not Break and Seal, Left and Right. They're not there as direct aggressor to these potential abilities, which, by the way, Seal is not yet part of the conversation since Yuru doesn't have it. But they're there as companions to Yuru and loyal to him, and that's how they see themselves, and that's their priority right now. Which I really like that dynamic. I think that as a viewer, you pick up on that and you're like, okay, so everybody else needs to wise up to this maybe not being the kind of threat people are thinking it is, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So with that whole kerfuffle fight, if you will, out of the way, there is
Yes.
a random guy that gets away. He's like, haha, I'll get you next time, Gadget.
I think we'll see him again.
We'll see him again, but like, other than to say that he's coming back, I don't know anything about him, so he doesn't
Nope.
really.
He gave like potential
He could be a
sub-villain
villain.
vibes. Yeah,
Yeah.
sub-villain.
And he could be, for all I know, because we've got 4 episodes left in the season, he could be important coming forward. But as far as when we recorded this, he's just that guy.
Yeah.
We don't even know his name, so.
No, but someone did get away out of the mercs.
Yep.
Someone got away.
And there's quite a bit of cleanup, including the assistance from the otherwise known as a manga writer, Hikaru Kagemori. He was actually the eldest of the Kagemori heirs, voiced by Aaron Campbell. That's Jinya in Sword of the Demon Hunter, and Jingo Raichi in Blue Lock.
That's Raichi's voice?
That's Raichi's voice. I actually put him in there because I knew I was going to have you in here, Kuro, and I'm like,
oh my
you're
god,
gonna get
what
that.
range? What range?
Right?
I love it.
I was going range when I heard Jinya, because Jinya talks like this.
Oh my god, I didn't even make those connections. That's amazing.
Oh, I didn't
love
either.
that.
What an amazing range on Aaron Campbell there.
Completely different voice between Hikaru and Raichi. And Jinya
Absolutely.
even.
Jinya's different, but still. Have you seen
Yes.
Demon Hunter?
I've seen clips of it, yeah.
Okay. God, that's a really
I
good one,
haven't
by the
watched
way.
it, but I've seen clips, yeah.
It is the number one reason to have a High Dive subscription, in my opinion. Anyway.
Or a friend with one.
Hikaru does have Daemons that basically recreate. One erases and whites out whatever's going on, so he can white out the damage, and then the other inks in what's going on. And apparently, spitting ink means that they approve of you. And a lot of this comes out because Dara comes by to pick up Austin. Like, hey, I'm coming by peacefully. I just want to pick up the kid. And energy is met by energy, and the Kagemori is actually treated pretty well. They have breakfasts, and there's some conversations and tension, but not violence on either end. And this is where the concept of neither side is a monolith, and there's definitely bad actors on both sides.
Yeah.
Someone in Higashi Village was sent to assassinate Asa and succeeded.
Can I say something about that scene? I went and rewatched it, and my distinct impression from watching that is the two agents that captured Asa and killed her were they were rogue, and B,
I agree.
they were trying to get control of Break specifically because they were waiting for her to come back. So they knew something about her, and they didn't seem to be under anyone else's control because they were at a loss about what to do with the little conversation you had. So
I agree with you.
It
so
reminds me
definitely
of
Rogue.
it
Go
reminds
on.
me of in a story where there's someone has heard like a half-baked version of a legend, and it's like
Yes.
they go off to make their fortune. It's like, but it was supposed to do this. Why isn't it doing this and stuff?
Yes. Yeah. And
I
they
actually, I had the same feeling.
yes.
I have and this is the crackpot theory. Okay, I am not married to this, but my crackpot theory was this a false flag? Was this the Kagamoris doing this to make Asa think that Higashi Village went to kill her?
Well, it is really
Who
interesting that
knows?
Asa brings up that she's frequently the target of assassination attempts.
As soon as
And
she
I
gets out
can't
of there,
help but
yeah.
wonder if this is so let's say that there's the one-off that there are rogue agents operating out of Higashi, there are rogue agents operating out of the Kagomori. What also could be possible is that there is some part of the Kagomori clan that is using this fear of hers to keep her under their
Hmm.
control and to keep her there.
Yeah, Gara outright says he
Be
doesn't
quite
know about
classic.
anything. He's like,
Yeah.
he's very clear. Hey, I mean, it's possible I don't know and something's real.
Yeah.
But as far as
He
I
doesn't yeah.
know, there's nothing like that. Which I don't think he was lying.
Right. But I
The-
also think that he wouldn't pursue any suspicions he might have because he's a man of duty, at least heretofore.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, I think
he's gonna follow what his straightforward path is. I doubt he's gonna
I
try and
think he
meander too much.
would. If he suspected something, I think he would have been at least honest that he suspected something, though.
Yeah, but he's pretty nonplussed about like the whole thing and like, well, that's nothing. That's not within my purview. I don't know anything about that. But also the grandma character you meet, Yamaha, she very clearly wanted to protect Yuru. The moment that the Kagamoris attacked, she was trying to protect him, and she encouraged Dara to take him out and to protect him to leave.
That's
So
true.
so you don't even get the impression from this lady that she's got some kind of sinister motivation. But we also know so little about them
She wants to get her
outright.
devil's advocate. She wants to get her prized asset out of harm's way.
Fair.
That's true. We just don't know.
We
The
just don't
truth is
know,
we
and
don't
that is
know.
Exactly.
and that is the beauty of this whole story. Is we don't know.
Yeah.
And I could literally give you details, make up details, like not actual. I don't know where the story's
Yeah,
going.
you could come up with a ton of theories.
I could make up a version of events where Higashi Village are the innocent heroes and the Kagomori are the totally evil bad guys. I could also exactly 180 that.
Yes.
And I could even make a version of the story where they're both the good guys and there's some evil third party. Or a version of this where they're both the bad guys and we need to make a good third. There are so many ways this could play out, and I love that I don't know.
You really have to take the information as it's given to you. And one of the best things that I liked about the most recent episode 8, where Yuro loses his temper and shouts at everybody, but he makes a really clear line in the sand. He's like, I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to stay here hovering like my sister is and be, quote, protected. If someone wants to come for me, they can come for me and I'll protect myself. But also, I'm not going to be controlled. And I'm going to make up my own mind about things. All I want is to find my parents, and I appreciate you making endeavors towards that. Which
One of the
I
things
think is the right way to look at this.
I
That was
agree.
how I would look at it.
He hit the nail on the head. The other thing in that same speech that I adored Yuru for is he's still mad at Asa for her part on the attack on the village, but
Yeah.
and that is her fault. He's like, but this girl apologizes for everything, even things that aren't her fault. What are you
Yeah.
people doing
Yes.
to her?
Yeah, find a spine.
Oh my gosh. And I kind of identify with that. I'm kind
Yuna
of an
syndrome.
awesome. I kind of do that too. So I get where Asa's coming from. But he's got a point. What are they feeding her psychologically to get her there?
Yeah. Yeah. If she's being constantly attacked by assassins, she thinks that she's somehow, you know, like vulnerable and she's a detriment to society. Like it's hard not to think she's been gaslit into thinking that. I have
Mm-hmm.
so many questions though, like what happened the night his parents fled that made them want to flee?
Yeah. What
That's a
happened to
big
them?
What
one.
was the
And where
breaking
are they
point?
now? Yeah.
Yeah, why did they have to leave him? Because
Yes.
Asa made it very clear that they not only did not want to leave him, but they were devastated that they had to.
So
And
yeah,
they
what
didn't
happened that made them
explain
have to?
they didn't
Yeah,
seem to explain a lot of this to Asa because she doesn't have answers, some of the answers
right. Well,
Yuru
she
has
was a
questions
little kid at
for.
the time, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not clear also how many years she had with them before they disappeared.
I
I
get the
didn't I
impression
missed
not
that.
long.
Okay. Because I wish they had it clarified that. But there's so many unanswered questions. There's so much mysterious back
Right.
back lore here that we've yet to uncover, which is kind of the brilliance of this show is that like you have to take each episode as it comes and absorb the information as the characters are sharing it. Which I like that they make the effort to sit down. You was like, this is only going to work if I hear from both sides. And Yuro is you in this instance. He's the audience. Like, yeah, that's what I need. I need everybody to talk it out, and I
Oh
need to make
yeah.
up my own mind.
Frequently, Juro has done exactly what I would do, and I love him
Yeah.
for it. Like the
Yes.
only exception to that was, oh, go to Kamigari Manor. No, I would have been, no. Why don't we find a third middle space that's neither sides? We'll go there.
Yes. Yeah. Yuro is makes for a very not annoying character because he does the moves that feel the most logical. And I
I
like
love
that.
it. I completely agree. And Ark, I know you love him for that too.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
he acts sensibly, he
Yes.
acts humanely, and he doesn't fuck around.
No, exactly. Yeah.
and
And
I'm
and
I'm
he
gonna throw this out. I think this is the second best show in the current crop of shows this season. This is
really
a
addicting
really good,
show. You
Certainly of the
have
absolutely.
to
brand new
be
ones, absolutely.
you have to be
Yes,
locked in watching it though. Like
you
this
do.
isn't
You gotta pay
something
attention.
Yeah.
you can't have in the background. You got to really like sit and enjoy it and just lock into it. And it's plot heavy, it's dialogue heavy. There's not as heavy in the action, but it's working for it. I thought
When it
when they had
does
all the
action, it's really
oh,
heavy,
the
but
action's
it's
it's good and it's selective. I thought that that was going to be the thing that you would just see a lot of Daemons fighting Daemons. And that's not been the case. It's been only when it's very specific to the plot and I appreciate that. I appreciate that the plot heavy moments, the dialogue heavy moments are relevant and engaging and not boring. And then the action moments are appropriate and not just there just to spam you with action. So it's definitely for a more like engaged, mature viewer. I think like if this has to be what you want to watch, and it's worth it. It's totally paying off at the rate you want it to. I think. I was a little like frustrated at the beginning for being slightly slow, but it really got hit its stride. I think episode 4, 5, 6. Like it hit its stride, and I was like, I'm totally locked in.
yeah, no, it's definitely built up and then it blew up.
Yes, yeah. And now at least we're at a point where everybody's kind of caught up. Everybody's on the same page. Yuru's like made his line in the sand. You know,
The
Asta found
last
her
thing that
brother.
the last thing that really hit me on that last episode, which is like right at
Mhm.
the end, is Asa gives you that farewell that he recognizes from Charles. Like, okay, I can't even pretend that's not my sister anymore. He knows, and he breaks down over it, and
Yeah, it's
that
the first
hit
time you
me.
see him emotional.
That hit me because that's not normally him. So that really hit.
Yeah, because he's been pretty stoic and or angry up until this point,
Mhm.
and then he gets a flashback of his sister. And I sure like oh my other big mystery question here is like what's with the false Asa? What's all that
Uh
about? The false Asa, which we know
huh.
was created to keep him there.
Well,
Yeah,
and
And
so
this
was
is
why
that just some kid from the village or what?
not exactly, and let me comment on that. This is my biggest sus on Higashi Village. When she is quote unquote killed, she turns into this like blood looking like thing, and then
and then comes
we
back.
see that she forms back out of that blood.
Interesting.
Something.
Somebody's Daemon, maybe.
Somebody's Daemon has to be.
I thought too. I think she's someone's Daemon. And my other question is, why was it so important to keep Asa, OG, and other Asa, and like false Asa locked up in general?
That is a very good question.
That's not explained ever. That's never explained. Because
the best we've got is the stigma over the twins that divide night and day. But why is night free and day is not? You think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, it's not really explained. And she only, and she at that point didn't have break. So there's definitely I'm convinced, not just a little, but like enough to convince me that there's some gaslighting keeping Asa in check in the Kagomori. But she trusts them completely. And her parents brought her there. So she's no one else but them.
Yeah.
But Yuru is free from his bonds, essentially. He's out in the world and he's like, I'm gonna live my life and we'll just see what happens.
With Yuru, you had Gonzo bad mouthing the Higashi village. Yuru's like, hey, that's my home. Those are my people we're talking about there. No.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nuance. And
there is
not
as
much, and this is what makes it feel real.
Yeah,
in real life, you don't get these cues that writers use to telegraph who's good and bad and whatever.
Yes,
you got to figure it out for yourself, and
and it's also it's very rare that someone is all good or all bad, and even then, it's often a matter of perspective.
Yes.
Well, and it's who's good and bad in the current situation, usually.
Right. And also people change over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, so I guess we're set up to kind of figure out what happened to their parents next, because their parents might have some of the answers here.
Yep, and there is a connection point made between Dara and Gene at one of Gene's clubs that he owns as a middle place to drop off and pick up information. That was actually really smart.
What is a girls' club in the Japanese context? I don't think I've heard that term. Is it like a club for women, or is it like one of these? Is it like a host club?
I read it as like a sexy host club.
That's exactly how I read it.
Okay. Yeah, I know those exist. I just hadn't heard the term. So, like male hosts and female clientele.
Yeah, that was how that was the way I read it.
I was getting strip club vibes, to be honest. Maybe not that hardcore, but
host and hostess clubs are more the Japanese speed. It's like a strip club, but worse, I think, in the sense that you get less for your money.
Oh my!
But I hope that
not that strip clubs are worth the money to begin with, but that's a whole nother rant.
I hope that Yuru going back with Dara and Hana doesn't take a slice of life turn for an episode or two, because that would be a huge waste of episodes if it's just like, I'm gonna figure out life in the modern world. Like, those moments are funny when they happen like naturally as a part of the plot progression, but I really hope the plot keeps the pace that it's going at now.
It's based on what just happened, based on how the show has gone, I would expect the next episode to be a little slower at first and do some of that, but I'd also expect it to give us some a hook or something towards the end where it's like, oh, because
go on.
Keep in mind, they do tend to pay off the little episodes of Fish Out of Water.
Yeah,
as in the turn off the lights bit. So
this is this is based off of a manga series, so they're adapting. I highly doubt that this season's going to be the end of it. I am 100% certain. 100% certain this is going to get continued.
We're only 8 episodes in, and we're just at the beginning of this story.
Yeah, there's 4 episodes left in this season. There's no way they're done.
Yeah, and I just can't imagine they would waste 4 episodes not doing it. But it's really interesting that
by the end of this season, we're going to have some pretty awesome stuff. I'm sure of it.
Talking about this series, this season, right after episode 8, it's like actually a good stopping point, because it's not like a cliffhanger in the middle of something. It's a cliffhanger where we sort of sandwiched all of the big relevant things that need to be sandwiched into a neater package to move forward with. So now like it's kind of an unknown for us, for the three of us, like what's going to happen next. I have
No
no
idea.
idea what could happen next because we're
Yeah.
not in the middle of like an event, we're not in the middle of a
No,
fight.
we
We're not in the
just
middle of a
resolved
conversation.
we
Yes.
just resolved a major thing, and now it's whatever's next. The only thing that's left is I'll get you next time gadgets out there, and
Yeah.
that could go somewhere. And also, Asuma might pull a stunt. Those are kind of my two guesses.
Yeah, I guess I have nothing. I have no idea where this is going to take us.
I don't
I'm
either,
extremely
and
intrigued.
I love that. That the
Yeah.
mystery is what really makes this work.
Yeah, very compelling. Very compelling.
Well, I think that pretty well covers it. Any final thoughts, guys?
I don't think so.
No, not beyond what I just shared. I highly recommend it.
As
It's
do
such a
I.
fun show. It's such a fun show. I'm really glad that I decided to commit to finishing this one.
I'm glad
Because
too.
now it's got its hooks in me and I can't wait till next week when the next episode is.
That is the fun of the Simuldub watching, is you get to watch. It's not quite like a Toonami where you turn in a specific time, but although you can, because these do come out at a specific date and time every week.
Mhm.
So you can tune in the second the episode hits if you want. Or what Ark and I do, we specify a Friday and a Saturday time period where we just watch all the Simuldubs that we're watching. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Uh,
tempted to wait even 2 weeks so I could do 2 at a time, but I don't know, it'll depend on
Understandable.
my level of patience. Because if they set us up for the next part of this and then like it leaves me in the middle of something, I'm going to be like, "Oh shit, now I have to wait
The
another week."
ancient debate of watching weekly or binging. There are benefits to both.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I think
you can do either with
weekly
this
is
one.
better if you can discipline yourself to it, but binging has
Yes.
its own
Yeah, like
benefits
Ark and
as
I
well.
have full access to Blue Lock and Tokyo Revengers. We're still watching it weekly with our Simuldubs, actually.
I like binging in sections, like a couple episodes
Yeah,
at a
Okay,
time.
that
I
that
can see
also
that.
works.
That works.
Yeah.
That's like the old DVD method of, hey, I just bought a DVD. It has 4 episodes. Now I gotta wait 2 months for another one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, generally,
Back in the late '90s, early 2000s. That's how I
that's how
used
I
to do it.
watched Avatar.
That's how I watched. Oh God, what was it? I was gonna say Full Metal Alchemist, but that's a lie. I
Bleach?
watched that week to week. No, that was on Adult Swim. Some of the older shows I watched. I'll have
Yeah.
to think about what it was, but that's how I watched a lot of stuff back in the day. Back in the day when it cost $25 for 4 episodes on DVD.
And
Eh.
it's not like if I get impatient, there aren't other things I can watch, so I guess that's
Oh
the
yeah.
benefit.
Yep. So, Ark, why don't
Right.
you tell us about today's YouTube shout out?
Okay, today's YouTube shout out is that Chernobyl guy. I probably should have done this a few weeks ago for Chernobyl week, the anniversary of the accident, when the Soviet Union nuked Ukraine. Um, and so this guy is, at least on YouTube, one of the premier experts on the Chernobyl disaster specifically, and this is somebody who just obsessively goes into it, details, details, details. I'm pretty sure he can read Russian. And so, at least I don't see how he could do this research if he couldn't. And so it's a lot of, okay, what's of the myths, what's true, what's false, what's kind of true, what's kind of false, things like that. So if you are curious about any particular aspect of it, he probably has a video on it or will soon. And if you just want something to listen to, he is pretty easy to listen to. It's not the most refined content on YouTube, but it's not bad. And it's the information is absolutely top shelf. So there we go.
All right. Good stuff. Well, I guess it's time to clean up some house. So, as our guest, Kuro, where can the people find you?
I am a co-host for the Toonami Faithful podcast. So if you're a Toonami fan, that's definitely where you can find me, along with Sketch, another frequent guest of this podcast, and Laser and Ark. Ark, who is also occasional guest for ours. We just talk Toonami stuff. And if you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Blue Sky and on Twitter at Happy Kuro Kitty, or search for Happy Kuro Kitty for Blue Sky.
Awesome. Now, Ark does not have social media, so he tends to use this to talk about what he's doing, but where can the people find you, Ark?
So yeah, there's some indie games that came out. One game I just got accepted into the alpha play test for. It's called Gateguard Simulator. If you've ever played Contraband Police, it seems to be aiming to do more or less the same thing, but at a medieval level. For an alpha, it's extremely polished, and it's hilarious to me that everything's in German. I mean, the tutorial guy, they voiced him in English, but I'm sure other languages as well. But it makes sense because it's, medieval Europe, and it does have a German flavor, the place. But the people come up and talk to you in German, or I think Dutch as well, things like that. But so I go into my World War II German military policeman mode, which I have reenacted, and I'm talking to things, and you're telling them to shut up and give me your papers, and it's great. So keep an eye
Papers,
on that.
please.
Yeah, it also has an element of that. Of course, Contraband Police grew out of that. Out of Papers, Please. The other
Game I'm
game
terrible
that's
at, but I
noteworthy.
love.
This new game doesn't have a time limit, at least not yet, which I hope it keeps. So yeah, there's the other game that I finished that people might want to know about is the new Bond game, 007 First Light. In terms of narrative and set design, and oh my god, the acting and everything, it is incredible. It is easily the best Bond movie that I've seen since Casino Royale. Just fractionally better than Skyfall. And just because there's more of it and it's able to pace better. That said, it should have been an epic miniseries. It's too long to be a movie. It should have been an epic miniseries with the same cast, the same everything, and IO should have been making Hitman 4, because as a game, it's just meh. It's that very old school genre of, okay, now we're going to do a little of this, now we're going to do a little of this, now we're going to do a little of this. And the only type of gameplay that actually stands out is when they let you loose in a small sandbox with some objectives. That has a lot of Hitman DNA in it. Aside from that, it's all painfully generic for anyone who's an older gamer. So if that's something that you would enjoy, then go and pick it up on sale, or if you can afford it, pick it up now. And then if not, I would highly recommend watching it. Like, find someone who's made a good game movie out of it with no commentary, no nothing, and watch that. Very much worth your time.
You know.
So that's my review of that.
All right, then. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at LaserKidPrime. You can find me on Blue Sky at LaserKid. And you can also find me on the Toonami Faithful podcast, where we talk about Toonami. You should check it out. You probably already have, based on... we tend to get more people coming from Toonami Faithful over here than the other way, but...
We're all friends.
Oh, absolutely. But if somehow you're listening to us and you haven't listened to Toonami Faithful, come check us out. We talk about anime on Toonami. Rooster Fighter just finished. What a show! And yeah, you should definitely check us out talking about Rooster Fighter over there. It's a good time. As for Simuldub Saints, you can find us right here on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching or listening to us. We are excellent side-screen content. Although I do put things on the screen, I put jokes up when I can. I do my best to make it entertaining, but I am a moderately / not great video editor. But I do my best. But
I think you do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I try really hard.
Better than what I would do.
Man, it takes me a while to go through these, but that is the main home for the podcast. But we do have an audio version out on Spotify Podcasts, which does push out to a whole host of podcast platforms, so you can listen to us through podcasts audioly if you prefer. Auditorially, I can talk. I swear. We're also on social media at Simuldub Saints on both Blitter, on Blue Sky and Twitter. And we also have a Facebook group, which is linked to on our YouTube and Spotify podcast page if you are interested in following us in those ways. Generally on social media, I will post if we have an episode coming out, when the episode comes out, or if we're going to have a hiatus, which happens occasionally. I occasionally get called home, especially now that I'm an uncle. There's a little bit of that going on here and there, but I will always let you guys know before something like that happens. So, yeah, that's where you can find Simuldub Saints. Well, that does it for this week's episode of Simuldub Saints, so until next time, catch you later.
また見てて僕が離れないように抱きしめて僕が泣き出さないように追い風が吹き糸が背筋が酔い血液